Group 1. Therapeutic Recreation Foundation, Worksheet 3. Submitted by Precious Meningat, Ana May Alejandro, Imperatriz Reyes. What is research? Research is defined as a meticulous and systematic inquiry process designed to explore and unravel specific subjects or issues with precision. This methodical approach encompasses the thorough collection, rigorous analysis, and insightful interpretation of information, aiming to delve deep into the nuances of a chosen field of study. By adhering to established research methodologies, investigators can draw meaningful conclusions, fostering a profound understanding that contributes significantly to the existing knowledge base. Characteristics of research. Systematic approach. Research follows a well-structured and organized approach, with clearly defined steps and methodologies. It is conducted in a systematic manner to ensure that data is collected, analyzed, and interpreted in a logical and coherent way. Objective and unbiased. Research is objective and strives to be free from bias or personal opinions. Researchers aim to gather data and draw conclusions based on evidence rather than preconceived notions or beliefs. Empirical evidence. Research relies on empirical evidence obtained through observations, experiments, surveys, or other data collection methods. This evidence serves as the foundation for drawing conclusions and making informed decisions. Clear research question or problem. Every research study begins with a specific research question or problem that the researcher aims to address. This question provides focus and direction to the entire research process. Replicability. Good research should be replicable, meaning that other researchers should be able to conduct a similar study and obtain similar results when following the same methods. Transparency and ethics. Research should be conducted with transparency, and researchers should adhere to ethical guidelines and principles. This includes obtaining informed consent from participants, ensuring confidentiality, and avoiding any harm to participants or the environment. Generalizability. Researchers often aim for their findings to be generalizable to a broader population or context. This means that the results of the study can be applied beyond the specific sample or situation studied. Logical and critical thinking. Research involves critical thinking to analyze and interpret data, identify patterns, and draw meaningful conclusions. Logical reasoning is essential in formulating hypotheses and designing the study. Contribution to knowledge. The primary purpose of research is to contribute to the existing body of knowledge in a particular field. Researchers aim to expand understanding, challenge existing theories, or propose new ideas. Peer review and publication. Research findings are typically subject to peer review by experts in the field before being published in academic journals or presented at conferences. This process ensures the quality and validity of the research. Iterative process. Research is often an iterative process, with findings from one study leading to new questions and further research. It is a continuous cycle of discovery and refinement. Practical application. While some research is theoretical in nature, much of it aims to have practical applications and real-world implications. It can inform policy decisions, improve practices, or address societal challenges. Research process. 1. Identifying the problem. 2. Reviewing literature. 3. Setting research questions, objectives, and hypotheses. 4. Choosing the study design. 5. Deciding on the sample design. 6. Collecting data. 7. Processing and analyzing data. 8. Writing the report. Identifying the research problem. We have countless problems around us, but all we encounter do not qualify as research problems. Thus, these do not need to be researched. Keeping this point in mind, we must draw a line between research and non-research problems. Reviewing of literature. A review of relevant literature is an integral part of the research process. It enables the researcher to formulate his problem in terms of the specific aspects of the general area of his interest that has not been researched so far. Such a review provides exposure to a larger body of knowledge and equips him with enhanced knowledge to efficiently follow the research process. Through a proper review of the literature, the researcher may develop the coherence between the results of his study and those of the others. Setting research questions, objectives, and hypotheses. After discovering and defining the research problem, researchers should make a formal statement of the problem leading to research objectives. An objective will precisely say what should be researched, delineate the type of information that should be collected, and provide a framework for the scope of the study. A well-formulated, testable research hypothesis is the best expression of a research objective. A hypothesis is an unproven statement or proposition that can be refuted or supported by empirical data. Hypothetical statements assert a possible answer to a research question. Choosing the study design. It is a master plan specifying the methods and procedures for collecting, processing, and analyzing the collected data. There are 4 basic research designs that a researcher can use to conduct their study: survey, experiment, secondary data study, and observational study. The type of research design to be chosen from among the above 4 methods depends primarily on 4 factors. The type of problem, the objectives of the study, the existing state of knowledge about the problem that is being studied, and the resources are available for the study. Deciding on the sample design. Sampling is an important and separate step in the research process. The basic idea of sampling is that it involves any procedure that uses a relatively small number of items or portions, called a sample, of a universe, called population, to conclude the whole population. It contrasts with the process of complete enumeration, in which every member of the population is included. Such a complete enumeration is referred to as a census. A population is the total collection of elements we wish to make some inference or generalization. A sample is a part of the population, carefully selected to represent that population. If certain statistical procedures are followed in selecting the sample, it should have the same characteristics as the population. These procedures are embedded in the sample design. Sample design refers to the methods followed in selecting a sample from the population and the estimating technique vis-a-vis the formula for computing the sample statistics. Collecting data from the research sample. Data gathering may range from simple observation to a large-scale survey in any defined population. There are many ways to collect data. The approach selected depends on the objectives of the study, the research design, and the availability of time, money, and personnel. With the variation in the type of data, qualitative or quantitative, to be collected, the method of data collection also varies. The most common means for collecting quantitative data is the structured interview. Studies that obtain data by interviewing respondents are called surveys. Data can also be collected by using self-administered questionnaires. Telephone interviewing is another way in which data may be collected. Other means of data collection include secondary sources, such as the census, vital registration records, official documents, previous surveys, etc. Qualitative data are collected mainly through in-depth interviews, focus group discussions, key informant interview, KII, and observational studies. process and analyze the collected research data. Data processing generally begins with the editing and coding of data. Data are edited to ensure consistency across respondents and to locate omissions if any. In survey data, editing reduces errors in the recording, improves legibility, and clarifies unclear and inappropriate responses. In addition to editing, the data also need coding. Because it is impractical to place raw data into a report, alphanumeric codes are used to reduce the responses to a more manageable form for storage and future processing. This coding process facilitates the processing of the data. The personal computer offers an excellent opportunity for data editing and coding processes. Data analysis usually involves reducing accumulated data to a manageable size, developing summaries, searching for patterns, and applying statistical techniques for understanding and interpreting the findings in light of the research questions. The entire task of a research study is accumulated in a document called a proposal or research proposal. A research proposal is a work plan, prospectus, outline, offer, and a statement of intent or commitment from an individual researcher or an organization to produce a product or render a service to a potential client or sponsor. The proposal will be prepared to keep the sequence presented in the research process. The proposal tells us what, how, where, and to whom it will be done. It must also show the benefit of doing it. It always includes an explanation of the purpose of the study, the research objectives, or a definition of the problem. It systematically outlines the particular research methodology and details the procedures utilized at each stage of the research process. Importance of research. Importance of research. The significance of research cannot be understated. It is integral to succeeding in school as well as in many professions, such as law, writing, and finance. The main purposes of research are to inform action, gather evidence for theories, and contribute to developing knowledge in a field of study. 1. It's a tool for building knowledge and facilitating learning. 2. It's a means to understand issues and increase public awareness. 3. It helps us succeed in business. 4. It allows us to disprove lies and support truths. 5. It is a means to find, gauge, and seize opportunities. 6. It promotes a love of and confidence in reading, writing, analyzing, and sharing valuable information. 7. It provides nourishment and exercise for the mind. Living well. Being healthy. ATRA, Alberta-TR.ca. The Canadian Therapeutic Recreation Association. CTRA, Canadian Therapeutic Recreation Association. Uniting Therapeutic Recrea across Canada, Canadian-TR.org. And this is our presentation for today. Thank you Mr. Ted and classmates for listening.